Right, talk about rapping. Rapping. Rapping was invented by the slaves. The people that hunt down people pretending to slaves, rapping. Rapping was a way of speech. It was a way of rhythm. It was a way of talking. Because some people from other countries couldn't speak, and it was the easiest way was to introduce rapping. What I'm trying to say is, are these people that are attacking monuments and buildings and other issues, are they going to attack rapping and banish rapping? I wouldn't have thought so because we're talking of billions. A lot of money's being made. And when it comes to rapping, they put another name on it so it doesn't sound like rapping, but it's still rapping, you know. And it's, I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of black people, a lot of some Indian people. I met some Indian people not long ago. You know, they've got a farm, went down, had a chat. Very nice, very homely. They're nice, decent people. Come down, I showed them what I had, and you know, it's nice. So people are nice, and some people aren't. But let's not get off the trail of rapping. That's how rapping was invented. So they could understand the way of speaking American English. You know, I can speak two languages. You know, I can speak English and I can speak American. Have you got any culture? There you go. It's quite easy, isn't it? And then we talk about the black and white minstrels, the singer in the black and white minstrels. He was a nice bloke. I met him. I met him a couple of times. I met him in the theatre. And he used to be putting all this blacking on his face. Now, it was strange, really. Being a young tot, he could smoke. He smoked in the service, and I believe it was senior service. And he was a bloke what could smoke a senior service and not get any black on his fingers. It was weird. And the women, you know, you could see the backsides and this and that on them and that. And they used to go behind this big screen where all the mirrors and all the lights were on. And they used to getting changed and getting ready to go on for the show. And then they'd come and he'd be putting his black on and that, and they'd be looking in the same mirrors as him, and along there, you know. And he just carried on like. But there's something that stuck in my mind what he said. I thought, even a little lad, I thought it was strange. And I'm not biased in any way. It's just how he said it. And he wasn't nasty in himself when he said it. He put the blacking on and finished, and he turned around and said, "You've got a factory with that man. I ate the white bastards already." You didn't see me who sung in Mammy Oh Mammy, you know. He was alright. And there's lots of people like that. Then we talk about this disease, you know, which attacks the nervous system. And it's a terrible thing to have. But what I'm trying to say is, I can tell you when, if it comes clear for the human race to go out and carry on as they were carrying on, and they never will do, but you'll have the indication when it happens, and I can tell you when it'll happen, when the Queen leaves the castle. When she leaves Windsor Castle, everything's safe. Otherwise, she won't be coming out. The only time she'll come out is when she's dead. So we wait and see, don't we, on that one. So it's a strange world we're in, what we see and what we don't see, you know. But that's how I am. I just don't like liars and cheats and that, you know. I was speaking to a person and well-to-do, Batman. And on his wall he had a photograph of Churchill on the horse in his office. And I said to him, is that, did your father know him? He said, no. No, he said, no. I said, oh, I thought he would have met him or something, being Churchill on the wall on this horse with bowler hat. He said, no, he said, I never met him neither. He said, you know, he'd passed on well before me. This person is 7 to 8 years older than me, and I found that very strange because I knew Churchill. I stayed at Chequers. I stayed at 10 Downing Street. And anybody got any old film and old coverage, it was that little blonde boy, very attractive blonde boy. The one what Marilyn Monroe said, pretty little blonde boy. What's that blonde boy? So, you know, with the laws and ladies round here, they're all assholes. We all follow the same. And I've got 5 generations of these people floating around watching me. I'm not nuts. I'm just me. Just somebody who's had a bad turn, you know. So I could tell you something about Lord Mountbatten. I'm not telling you as, well, I'll tell you something first about that. I'll come back to Lord Mountbatten another time. I have to tell you something now. The other day I was watching the telly and it said about the King of England died peacefully in his sleep. Well, he did. There's no two ways about that. But he had 2 injections in the left hand before he went. And he came in with Michael. He wasn't Sir Michael at the time, tall bloke, bald-headed, Queen's right-hand man. Walked into his bedroom. Doorway there. Bed here, windows there. The bed was dragged about 2 feet from the wall. And these henchmen came in. I'm cutting the story short. With flat caps. They were grooms, stocky little terriers, you can call them. And one came to the right and one came to the left. And they grabbed his hands and he woke up. He said, what are you doing? Let me go. And then Michael gave him the injections and that was it. Tied him over, these 2 assholes walked out. To me that was murder. It seemed to me the time when he was down at the place, Sandringham, that, I think it was Sandringham, that he seemed to be all right. But then, when he was in bed, it just seemed like he was drugged up and out his head. You know, he was coming and going. Not normal. He was sedated, he could be in that position to act like he was really poor. And then when he did go, Lord Howard came in. I think it's Lord Howard with the big beard, big pointy beard. And they picked me up. Charles and Nan came walking past with the nannies, and they picked me up, and I was kind of looking at them, and they picked me up. Michael picked me up, and Charles and Anne started crying and rushed them off. And Lord Howard with the beard came in with some old generation of the royal family. I can't say the names because I'm not the best of names, but I remember faces. And anyhow, it picked me up to kiss the king. And I was that upset with Charles and Anne crying, it scared me, and I kicked out and I kicked the king in the face. And I fell out of Michael's arms, and he tried to catch me. I was like a little fox running all over the place, and I grabbed Lord Yarborough by his knees. My head was just above his kneecap. I was only a small bit of shit. And he said, leave him alone. He said he's got to kiss the king. He said he's the nearest to the king at this present moment of time. So there you go, Charles. Back off and shut up. Alright? Clear off. You had got a chance when there was at Buckingham Palace, the day in question when I was banned from the royals and had an audience with the Queen. Everything seemed taken. Everything got out of hand as well later on. And before. And the day in question, I was getting ready to go. I was at Buckingham Palace. I stayed at Buckingham Palace the evening, and the Queen came through and said, "Will you be quiet?" And she said, "If you leave, I'll leave the door open. Will you be quiet?" And I said, "Yes." And there was no more. I could hear him talking and everything, you know. And I kept quiet, and I fell asleep then because I didn't like being left in the dark. I was scared. You know, the ceilings when I was at home used to spin one way and go the other way, and you could see things going around and around, and the other part was spin. It's weird, and you know, it was the brainwashing coming out. I'm sure of it. And then that morning, I was getting ready to have the audience with the Queen, and I was in the back end. And as you go out the back end, you come down the stairs and you go out, and there's a toilet right at the bottom. And then you come out onto the forecourt, what's all gravel. It was when I was there. And Charles came to one of the windows with 2 or 3 people, and he shouted over to me. He said, "Clear off." And I turned round and I jumped up in the air and kind of squatted and shouted, "Shut your bloody gob." And then something reminded me of something. And what it was, what I nearly said was to him was, "Shut your fucking gob." Because that's all I heard from the Royals, effing and blinding. When I was on the Beacon Hill Street, I never heard any swearing. Only one girl called me a bastard. This woman come out and said, "Don't call him a bastard." Well, that's what he is. Yes, well, you shouldn't be saying it, you're being told. Everybody's being told. Leave him. So there you go. It's mine. And if you take it, I kiss everybody who goes on it. They also say, if people are listening, if he does get it, he can only hold it for 2 years. After that, he has to forfeit his life. He's not a brave man. The bravest person in that family is Anne and Andrew. And the other one was just advocating. They're the 3. The rest of them are just cretins, as far as I'm concerned. You've got Edward, he's an arsonist. He set fire to a private school when he was there and that was about 47 years ago, and set fire to the university what he was at and caused £250,000 worth of damage. So he's an arsonist. You know, there's lots of things I can talk about, but Lord Jack Batten, I'm so going to save that one. I'm really going to save that one. You know, Charles, you'll vomit what I've got to say about that bastard. Eh? What he said. Let's remind you, Charles, eh? You were skipping away with a nanny, and I was with this bloke. There was 2 nannies started, then 1 nanny dropped. We left a big house and we was walking a park, and in the distance there was these trees, like concord trees, whatever it is, and it was a sunny day, much like it is today. And Lord Mountbatten must have parked in the tree lane. And I didn't see no car. And he came up to Charles, he said, "Hello, Charles." And Charles said, "Hello." What was it? Uncle, I think it was. He said, "Hello, Uncle." And then he looked at me, Lord Mountbatten, and said, "Is that the little bastard? Is that the little bastard?" Charles said. He said, "Come on, Charles, let's leave the little bastard on its own," and walked on. And somebody said something to me. You know what he said to me? I turned around and watched him. Charles was trying to skip and catching his back legs. How the hell he was doing it, I don't know. He had no coordination. He couldn't skip. Couldn't really do it, really. He was a wank to me. When I used to walk, he used to walk behind me. He loves it now because there's nobody else walks in front of him. But anyhow, he used to walk behind me. Hated me. Got me a thrashing of my life at the orphanage. And remember that, Charles? You remember the steel bat? I bloody well do. So anyhow, I was listening the other night to the telly, and there was these people saying, "Oh, they remember the king dying, you know, he died peacefully in the sleigh." But hang on a minute. I didn't see any of these bastards. Who the hell are these? Eh? The Queen wasn't there. No, I was the only one who had any importance there. Let's see if I'm right in what I'm saying, eh? Let's wait and see what happens. They've been trying to kill me for years, on and off. They even tried to kill me in the hospital, Grimsby General. Well, not Grimsby, Scapa Hospital in Aberlock Ward. I was dying when I went in. I had gangrene of the intestine. And I was dying. It was a 50-50 chance of surviving. I was just under 8 months in hospital. I'm talking about 7 weeks now. 8 months. None of my friends come to see me. Nobody. My brother come to see me near the end. He said, "I can't stall it on. I'm dying for a bag." Then he pissed off. Ron Telford used to come, and my stepmother and my brother, stepbrother and his wife came. They used to come, you know, twice or 2 times a week to see me. They was the only ones that really come to see me. Nobody else, no blood or like that. And anyhow, I started to get over it. And this bloke from London came. He was in that kind of Uber kind of thing what came popular where you can go to any hospital and have an operation, and he ended up having it here. And he was next to me in the cubicle. I didn't like him, and he beckoned me over. And as I was walking towards him, there was a bloke in the slump room where you empty the piss and the crap, and he was going like that. I went, no, no, no. And as I walked past, he went, hey, 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 come here. Hey. So I went over to him. He said, can you take this urine bottle and empty it? I said, no. He said, why? I said, well, the doctors told me not to pick anything up heavy. Well, it won't hurt you. And the nurse comes and said, what's the matter? I said, he's telling me to empty this bottle. Oh, he's gone now. The bloke was at the door beckoned to me, and he was at the door. And the bloke had shut the door, and she walked over and locked it. I went off. Anyhow, I walked off then, and I was talking to somebody, and I came walking back. I want the best of the walkers, and I came back, and two blokes in suits went into this cubicle, made the curtains open. One of them shut the door, and I definitely seen him get this bloke who stood up and pushed him on the bed. The other bloke drew the curtains shut, and I walked off. And then I came past again. I was always walking. And I went into the slush room, and you could hear all these metal and all that being thrown. This guy was fighting for his life. They got him in the end. And as they came out, they dusted themselves down, tied the suits up and walked off. And then I walked back again, and there was a pool of blood, like that, pink with bits of whiting. This guy's hemorrhage. And I didn't think anything of it at the time, till, I started thinking things out, and they OD'd him. And they OD'd him like they did in this movie what I watched. And what they do is they stick a cotton wool up your nose and put a syringe needle up and disintegrate the brain. And he went out to get help, and it was gone. They didn't clean that other place up till later on at night. They said there was electrical faults in the room, and everybody was told to come early. They can't stay long when they come in. And at 9 o'clock there was, about 8:30, there was time to clear everything up in there and move in. That's a true story. That's a true story. And from then on, we had a bloke come down with a torch shining down it for 2 or 3 weeks, checking the windows. Security was there. Everybody was checked when they went in and went out. And it could only be the people. Nobody's allowed in that ward, only the ones what was already there. And there wasn't many. We couldn't take the risk of what was happening. I don't swear on my daughter's lives. I swear on my own. My life's just as important as anybody else's. Why swearing on anybody else's bloody life? It's easy, isn't it? Swear on my own life. And I do believe in death. After death, I do believe in life. And that's another story what I'll tell you, and it's mind-boggling. And there is out-of-body experience I do experience. And I'll tell you what, Elizabeth, I can't wait when it happens. Anyway, have a nice day, everybody. I know I am, and thank you very much. And I am not a nutcase. There you go. Bye.